Okay, we are recording. Hi, everybody. You guys, I'm so excited for tonight. We have Rochelle who is going to just pour into us. And I asked her to just like share what was on her heart. And Nat and I kind of talked about like what we feel like we needed as a team. And I feel like we need to hear some stuff about like just self discipline, motivation, like I don't know, all of the things, self reflection and growth, right? And then also just like leadership growth and some of the things that we're going through, like growing pains as a team. So I'm super excited for tonight. And thank you, Rochelle, for taking the time out of your night to do this with us. I know everybody is like super stoked. So I know that she just stepped away, but if you are ready to go, then we're ready for you whenever you are.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Let me go to the back of the house real quick. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay. Hold on. We're in an Airbnb. Gotta find some lights up in here. Okay, Hux woke up 2 minutes before I was supposed to get on this call. Like, really? Okay. Okay. It's gonna be fine. So I'm so excited to talk to you ladies tonight. I'm a little bit scattered because that was like, of course, unexpected, but it's all good. I had to go wake Brian up. So self-discipline. Let me pull up the chats too, because I want you guys to light it up. Drop me some fire. Drop me some fire. Also tell me what your biggest struggle is right now. Okay. If it's self-discipline, if it's self-development, working on you, signing customers, like what is your specific issue right now? Being consistent, posting, whatever it may be. And so I can talk about that as I go through. But because we only have 30 minutes tonight, I'm just going to dive right in. What I really want to talk to you guys about is, you know, that this business is 80% mindset, 20% work, right? We preach that to you from the first time that you join the business. It's 80% mindset, 20% work. If you can get this right up here, then you can absolutely sign anybody and everybody in the entire world. Trust me. If you have this right, you can conquer anything. But the hardest part in the whole world, and the reason why there's 10 bazillion self-help books out there and self-development books out there, is because we have the hardest time reprogramming our mind to think the way that it should think in order for us to be successful. Can I get an amen? Right? Like we can listen to every single book and it's like, oh, if I just use the 7 steps of life or the 7 things of, you know, one day, then I can, as long as I own the day or win the day, then I'm going to be successful. Or as long as I do all of these things, then I'll be you know, whatever. And so we get caught up in like which one works for us. And I honestly truly believe that there's not one thing that works for everybody. Okay? There's not one thing that works for everybody. That's when whoops. There we go. Um Sorry, now I hear Hux up with Brian screaming. It's fine. It's fine. Um, so not everything is going to work for everybody. So what I have kind of struggled with in the past and gone through personally in my personal development journey is that I would look left and look right and be like, well, they're doing that, or they're reading that book, or they say that this one helps them more, or, you know, I finally found something that was working for me, and then so and so's doing something different. You know, maybe for me, for in particular, like exactly what I'm talking about is me staying up until 1 or 2 in the morning. Personally, that is what works for me. Like, period, the end. That may not work for you at all. That doesn't mean that, like, I don't want this to get misconstrued here. That doesn't mean that I'm staying up working my business, working my life away. Okay. I'm still being very diligent with my time. I'm still only spending 2 to 3 hours a day truly working on my own personal business. This is what I do full time, right? So 2 to 3 hours a day isn't that bad. But, and then my team stuff scattered out throughout the day, right? But my point of this is that's what works for me. And I got caught up in this when I started talking to other top leaders, and they're like, no. You need to read the 5 a.m. club. You need to read this. You need a miracle morning. You need to start your mornings right. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, yeah, in a season. in a season, in another season, in a different season, not this one, that might work for me. Okay. But your girl is up a million times a night. Okay. So when 5, 6 a.m. comes, when the kids get up, I can't start my day like that. I can't start my day in chaos. So if I were to get up 2 hours before my kids, it'd be 3 a.m. An hour before my kids, it'd be 4 a.m. Like that's not gonna happen in this season of my life, right? And so I had to be okay with that. I had to become okay with that and go, that's not what works for me right now. That's what works for them. But here's the best part about this that I want you guys to take away from it. I took it and I put it in my tool belt. Okay. Have you guys ever heard that expression? Like I put it in my tool belt. Doesn't mean I'm not going to use it ever. It just means I'm not going to use it right now. So that's great. And I love that she does that tool belt. Okay. That's great. I love that she does that tool belt. Like I'm just going to table this and I'm going to come back to it, but I have it as a tool if I ever want to go back to that. Right. Or if I ever want to do that. And so for me, I really had to understand like what works for me and be okay with if something stops working for me. Like right this second, it might not be. Brian and I were just talking about it. I'm like, okay, with the kids not sleeping, we need to talk about a new schedule because I don't know that I can stay up until 2 and then be up with them all night and get up around 7 or 8 still. Like that's just not, it might not work for me. Right. And so I was like, what if I could do like 2 hours a day where I go and like either we're full-time RVers right now. So for us, it's like I could go over and sit by the pool if we're here in Florida, or I could go to a coffee shop or whatever I could do for like 2 hours. I could go and leave, go for a walk, whatever it is, and work my business in those 2 hours. Would that be okay? And Brian's like, absolutely. Would it work around her nap time? This could be great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open. I'm sharing this with you guys because it's always evolving. And so that's what you need to be open to, is that it's always evolving, because here's the catch. There will never be a time in your business where you're actually going to have it down all the way forever. Okay. There won't be a time. And some of you might like that might like discourage you for a second, but here's what I want you to know. Brian and I were talking about this tonight. I was like, there hasn't been a time in my business where I've ever been able to catch my breath in my personal life. Not one. Can somebody drop some fire? Who am I speaking to? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not one. I'm like, we had Huntley, and that was a new set of challenges. And then Brian came home from work, and that was a new set of challenges. And then my brother went to prison, and that was a new set of challenges. And then I had a miscarriage, and that was a new set of challenges. And then we had a second baby, and that was a new. And then we moved across the country, and then we did this, and then we did that. And now I'm not sleeping. Like, there's so many things that are in like these things that you go through that we tend to make excuses on. And it's not because you're making excuses. Like, I'm not here to be like, oh, that's an excuse, get to work. No. I've switched my culture of things, you guys. And I don't know if you've seen, I don't even know that Lex and I have been able to talk about this really, but I truly have switched the culture of my thinking for me. And I'm hoping to instill that in all of you as well, because all I can do is like, live and learn and trial and error, and then come back and be like, oh, this is what fulfills me most. And what I have found that has fulfilled me most is not working myself into the ground anymore. Like, that's what got me to presidential, but that's not what will get me to ambassador. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I will not get there. I refuse to get there in the same way that I got to presidential. And what I mean by that is sleepless nights because I feel like I can't ever catch up in my business, like working like a dog, not setting hours, not being present, always being on my phone. Like, I'll never forget, I went on vacation with one of my really good friends, and she's in the business with us. This was a couple of years ago, and it was right before we promoted a triple. And she was like, the entire trip you were on your phone. Like, you never looked up. Like, legit, you never looked up. And it was around then when I started realizing, like, that's not why I want to do this business. Like, I don't want to, like, I want to do this business so that I can be present. And so I really started to unpack that a little bit. Why do I feel like I have to constantly be on my phone? Why do I feel like I can't shut off? How do I get to a point where I can truly have it all in all aspects of my life? And so anyways, I'm going on this rant, but my point was, I'm changing the culture. You can have it all. You can set your hours. You can do that, but you have to learn how to get your brain to a point where you can go, you know what? I've done my KPI list today. I've been diligent in my self development. I can and will set it down for the next 4 hours and be absolutely right here, right now. And I will get back to everything when I can. And you deserve that. Okay. It took me a little while to realize that, but you deserve that. Okay. But you have to be um, diligent with it. Like you have to know when it is okay to do it. You can't just wake up every day and be like, well, I deserve to not work until noon. So then, I'll do it tomorrow and then I'll do it tomorrow. And then things like like that's where the self-discipline comes in. I don't allow myself to, I wouldn't say I don't allow myself to be present because I'm very present in my life now, but I I don't know how to explain it other than I can't be fully present unless I do the things that I know that I need to do. Does that make sense? So make sure that you do those things and then let it go. Clock out, so to speak. How many of you needed to hear that tonight? Like how many of you feel like you can't clock out? Okay? Me. Like I hate as moms, we never clock out. Right? Straight up. We're always on the clock, okay? And so we don't need another thing in our business to feel like we can't clock out. That creates burnout. Okay, that creates burnout. It's not sustainable. You know what else it isn't? It's not teachable. It's not coachable. It's not duplicatable. You can't bring in a new distributor and be like, just so you know, you'll never put your phone down for the rest of your life. Like, and you'll also never be off call. Like, that's not sustainable. Absolutely not. There will be seasons. We may or may not be in that season right now. Brian and I had to have that conversation tonight. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be present, but like business is blowing up. So like we need to talk. Like we need to talk. We need to get on the same page because I really want to like this year is going to be different and it's absolutely going to be different. I can have it all, right? But at the same time, there's different seasons, y'all. There's different seasons. That doesn't mean that you can work 2 hours a day and never pick up your phone and just walk away. Right now, it's looking like I'm working like 4 to 5 hours a day. Okay. But like, let's be real. This is my full-time gig. 4 to 5 hours a day, making the amount of money that I make. That's not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're doing it correctly and you're doing it, what's the word? I'm sorry, you guys, my brain, I promise you.
Efficient.
Efficient. Yes, you need to be efficient. You need to be doing the things in an efficient manner, but there's another word, intentionally. Thank you, Lex. That's it. You need to be intentional with that time. Okay, so setting timers, doing whatever you need to do to make you guys, how many of you had toddlers? Drop it. Drop a one. How many of you have toddlers? Timers are your best friend. Okay. If you don't use timers, use them because literally I'm like, oh, we're setting a timer. Oh, you want to keep playing 2 minutes? Oh, you want to go to bed or you don't want to go to bed 2 minutes? Like, let me set a timer. Let me set a timer. Okay. So if it works well for them, it works well for you too. It does in your business. It absolutely does. Set a timer. Be intentional. The only way that you can actually clock out is to know that you've been intentional. That's something that I've realized about myself is I'm like, okay, and Brian will call me on this. Like, I'll be like, okay, time for you guys, like phones down, whatever. And then my anxiety is like through the roof and he can tell that I'm like not actually there. Right. And he's like, hi, remember you're being present. And I'm like, oh yeah. But like, I didn't respond to this person about this. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, did you not set time to like do that? And I was like, no, can I get 15 more minutes so that I can be here? Yep. Okay, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the communication too. I don't know how many of you needed to hear that, but like the communication of like, I'm trying to be here, but you're also a business owner. So that's where the grace comes in, right? There's also going to be times where you're trying to be present and you're taking a picture of your kids and something comes through that's like my order went through and I didn't want it to go through and it just like throws you all off and you're like, I'm being present right now. And like, I can't ignore her, but like that's just being a business owner. Okay. That's not normal everyday life. Okay. That's just things that are going to pop up. That's okay. But you absolutely should not be on your phone 24/7. You absolutely do not have to work all day, every day. In fact, honestly, if you want to be on your phone 24/7 all day, every day, it should be with self-development. Okay. Straight up. It should be with listening to a YouTube, listening to a podcast, a book, whatever. But I also recommend okay, how do I explain this? So for me, when I do my self-development, I get caught up for a while last year, I was getting caught up only listening to books. Okay. I was like only listening to books. It wasn't like intentional. It was just like audible, audible, audible. Like I just got in this rhythm and that's what I was doing. And then I would come out every morning and Brian would be listening to Ed Milet because that's what he listens to every single morning. And so I was getting my cup filled from like two different things, but they were the same two things every day. And I noticed that, like, even though they're different content, it was from the same people. And I really need to always have a revolving door of other people. Okay. So I get bored. Like, I'm just being straight up. Like, I get bored if it's the same person every single day. And I realized that. And so I would go in these spurts of self development where I was like, oh, I'm just tired of bed every day. But it's like, I didn't know who else to look up. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I just can't think. So I'll just like not do it today and I'll find another one tomorrow or whatever. And so you get in like this ebbs and flow. And so, in how I've combated that, that's not even the right word. Y'all just bear with me tonight. Okay. How I have went about that is really going through when I know that I need to be doing my self development, but I can't like get to a point where I need to, that's when I'll almost like Lex and I were talking about batching content today, like how we batch our posts and how we batch like all that stuff. You can batch your self development, y'all. Like that's something that I have like had like this newfound thing. It's recent, but it's like this thing where I'm like, if I don't know what to be doing, I'm just going to go look for what I need right now. What do I need? I need to be poured into my mom cup. Okay. This is something I talked to our diamonds and above about a little bit ago. I don't even know how long ago it was, but I was talking about different cups because we talk about fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup, right? Your cup should be overflowing. Y'all, we have like 27 different cups. Start dropping your cups in the chat. We have a mom cup, we have a wife cup, we have a friend cup, we have a daughter cup, we have a me cup, we have we have a fitness cup, we have a self-care cup. You know what I'm talking about? Like we have all of these cups that we're like, which freaking one do I fill? Because I can't seem to fill the all of them to the brim, right? And so what I want you to imagine right now is that you have the huge cup. Okay, this is your big like metaphorical your cup that needs to be overflowing. And that one needs to be able to pour into whatever cup is below that is depleted. Okay, so you're constantly filling up this big cup, and then maybe your mom cup needs filled. Right now, my mom cup really needs filled, dude. Like straight up, like I just need all the things to remind me that it's not my fault that they don't sleep. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these things, it's like this is just a season. Brian and I are gonna get through this. We're not gonna die from lack of sleep, even though it feels like it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like all of these things that I'm like, that cup needs to be overflowing. So I'm gonna take this overflowing. My spiritual cup is overflowing. My marriage cup is overflowing. So I am going to use everything that's in this big, wide open cup that's overflowing, and I'm going to pour it into the mom cup tomorrow because that's the cup that needs filled. And by doing that, it's going to fulfill my business and my life because that's the area that I need it in. Okay. It's okay to not listen to something that is only about business. That's not, we hold ourselves back in our business because we're not filling all of the things. Like we're not doing all of the things that are going to truly just fulfill us and bring joy to us. Right. And so that's something that I wanted to touch on because I feel like it's something that we get really overwhelmed with not knowing, like, well, my business is great. Like I'm doing all this self-development, but you're doing self-development based on how to never give up and how to keep going and like all these things. And it's like, that's not what you need help in. What you need help in is the daily grind. What you need help in is knowing when to take some self-care for yourself because you're about to lose it, right? Like that's going to help your business too. And so many times we push off that self-care. We push off that self-care because we're like, well, I just need to like learn how to sign the customer. I just need the latest deal what's everybody doing on this latest deal? I just need to sign a customer right now. No, what you need to do is just go on a run and think and fill your cup. You're going to come home and you're going to sign a customer, right? That's the blockage. It's just energy, y'all. It's just this energy blocking that you need something over here in order to get it over here, but you're only over here. Does that make sense? You have to take from all sources and not just one. And that also will widen your perspective too on like that this is a business, this isn't your life. Okay. This is your business, but this isn't your entire life. And that is where we go into burnout mode. Like I'm the first to admit it. The first 3 years of my business, straight up, all I did was it works. My marriage was not my first priority. God was not my first priority. My sleep was not my first priority. My everything wasn't my first priority. My business was. It was business, 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 business. Well, here's what's crazy. In this last year, I've really grown so much in how about instead of working myself like a dog, I actually take care of myself and only do the things that bring me joy. And I had a better year than I did last year. Enrollment wise, paycheck wise, my highest paycheck was in 2019. My one highest paycheck, okay, that I've ever had was in 2019 as a presidential diamond, the first month that we went pres and got the bonus. That was my highest paycheck to date. Okay. But my highest consistent paychecks, because I'm sorry, but that's what I'm working for. I don't know about y'all, but like, I don't need a one and done paycheck. I need like an every single month, like killing it paycheck. Okay. That was this year in 2020. And here's the difference. I didn't burn myself out. I didn't work myself like a dog to go, I feel like I just need to take a month off. Like not once. I worked my business the way that a business should be worked. I took care of my family the way that a family should be taken care of. I took care of myself the way that myself should be taken care of. I put the priorities in what my life in what I want my priorities to be in my life. And my business is not first. It's not. Just like my 9 to 5 wasn't first, right? God's first, I'm first, my husband's next, and my kids. You guys might not agree with that, but seriously, I read a book once that like changed my entire life. If you do not put you and your spouse first before your kids, everything goes to shit. Okay. So you have to shoot, where was I going with that? Oh, I still had a great year, an incredible year. I had the most consistent paychecks ever, and they were up. Okay. My rank didn't fluctuate. It didn't. It stayed steady. And that's because I put things in place that I knew that were more important to me than running myself into the ground. So really, I don't know who needed to hear this tonight, but that was really what was on my heart that I wanted to get across tonight, is that the self-development and the self-discipline and all of that, it's irrelevant until you start to realize what's first important to you. And I'm not telling you to put your business on the back burner. My business isn't last either. Okay. And it's not on the back burner. I'm very consistent with my business. I work my business every single day because it's a business, right? You have to. And there's days where I don't want to work it. Believe me. Okay. Just like everybody else, right? There's days where I do it through tears. That's not a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but we got to do it. And, so that's what I wanted to leave you with, is just understanding that I'll let Lex close it out and make sure that this was like exactly what you guys needed. But what I really want you guys to get is that you can design it, put it in perspective, and prioritize what you need, but do the dang things. You don't have to do all the things every single day. Do the KPIs every single day. That's it. You don't have to like do all the other back end work every single day. That can just be done weekly or fit into wherever, you know what I'm saying? And prep work is really important too. Go ahead, Lex.
Sorry, I couldn't find my mute thing. Emmett is freaking out.
Oh, no, you're good. I can
Oh,
finish
we're
out.
good.
I just didn't know if you wanted to say anything to end it.
No, I literally loved all of that. I know that there were so many people who needed to hear that. Like, seriously, you guys, I don't know about you, but like, and there are people not on this call that I will be sending this recording to when we are off. But thank you so much for being willing to do this and like taking the time out of your night. I saved the chat, you guys. So obviously we didn't get a ton of time with her, but I'm sure that we will have more of these.
Yeah, we can do another call for sure. This week's just been nuts.
Yeah, no, totally. So I saved those. We will definitely cover those. And thank you guys. And if you're on Rochelle's little leadership thing, I know at least a couple of you are, hop on in the next few minutes.
And if you're not, it's really simple to get on it, y'all. It's really simple. Run your ADBV auto shipment every single month and complete your steps to success. That means signing 6 loyal customers and getting 3 new distributors. You do that, you're on the call. That's it. You're like, oh, that's it. No, like seriously, that is it. And you can be a distributor or you can be an ambassador diamond. That is it. But it is a leadership call based on who is enrolling and who is showing up for their business. ADBV auto shipment gets you a ticket there. So we'll see you on the next one if you're not on tonight. Bye, guys. It was so fun.
Thank you.